All right, so moving on, our next angle relationship is going to be specifically in an isosceles triangle. Now, if you don't know what an isosceles triangle is, it's pretty simple. I mean, this looks really complicated, but the idea of an isosceles triangle is pretty simple. You have two sides that are the same length. That kind of forces some things to happen. If I have some sides that are the same length, I'm going to have some angles that are the same length. So a lot of this terminology here just kind of comes down to how the legs and sides are related. So the biggie that you needed to get out of this is the word legs. In an isosceles triangle, the two equal sides are called legs. That's kind of like if you were to stand up with your feet a little bit apart, your legs are the same length, hopefully. So those are the sides of that triangle. So that's what I'm talking about right there. Those legs are the same length. Okay. Now, when those legs are the same length, that forces down here at the base these little angles to be equal as well. They're called the base angles because they're at the bottom of the triangle. Now, these aren't always situated like an A-frame, so like they might be kind of laying on a side. So you have to get used to the bases not necessarily being at the bottom. The picture that I have here, just for kind of like an explanation and general idea what's going on, they are at the bottom. So I've got legs that are the same length, and then at the bottom of those legs, where the feet would be, those angles are the same measure. And then the kind of oddball angle up at the top is the vertex. Okay, it's a pretty straightforward property that we're going to be using, and I'm going to try and keep this as simple as possible. But the legs are the same length. So, like, let's say this side is 7, and if I ask you what the other side is, question mark, that's also going to be 7 as well. All right. Same thing with the angles. Like, let's say this angle down here is 40 degrees. You know automatically that the other base angle is 40 degrees. Now, I can extend that and ask you, okay, what's the vertex angle? Well, if I know these two down here are 40 and 40, that means that the one at the top's got to be 100 so that they still add up to 180 degrees. That's basically what we're going to be using today. We'll save the sides for a different day because we've been doing angle the last week or so. So let's just keep that train rolling and going with angles. So one of two things is going to happen. I'm going to give you a base angle and ask you for the other angles, or I could give you the vertex angle and ask you for the base angles. Now keep in mind, there's always 180 degrees in your triangle. So if I know, say, that the vertex angle is, 80 degrees, that leaves me 100 degrees to split between the two at the bottom. Okay, we'll do some examples, but this is, whoops, too far. This is exactly what your homework's going to look like. I'm keeping it real easy today. So you're just going to give me an angle measure. We're not going to do any algebra or anything. So what I need you to keep in mind, like I said, is your triangles aren't necessarily going to be setting on the base. So this first one here, it's kind of been rotated a little bit. I've got these two sides are equal. That means that if you follow the sides down, the feet, the base angles are going to be equal too. So if this angle is 47, the other angle up here at the top is also 47. Same thing here. I've got equal legs. That means I have equal angles. So this angle is going to be 45. Okay. Equal sides, follow the sides down. Those angles are equal. All right. So that what I just said, the equal sides, follow them down, you get equal angles. Keep that in mind when you look at this last picture here. Not last picture, next to last picture. This angle up at the top is 50 degrees. Okay, follow the equal sides down. That means that I have two angles that I could label with an X. The base angles are the same. I'm looking for the base angles. So this whole thing is 180 degrees. I take out that vertex angle. That's going to leave me 130 degrees to split evenly between my base angles. So each of those angles is 65 degrees, 130 divided by 2. So you're going to, if I give you the vertex, you're going to have to go down to the bottom and split the leftover. So the same thing here. My vertex angle is 30 degrees, so that means follow the legs down. Those two angles at the bottom are the same measure. Well, those two angles together are 150 degrees. Split equally because they're the same, each one is 75 degrees.